Welcome back to Two Houses, One Home. I'm Courtney Kirkpatrick, and I work with Home Inc., a local affordable housing agency. We're building an accessory dwelling unit behind a new home in the Oak Park neighborhood. Accessory dwelling units are just a smaller home that shares a residential lot with a larger single-family home. In this series, we'll be showing you the construction of our ADU and learning how these homes can benefit the community. In today's video, we're back at the site to see how things are going. But first, we're going to check in with Chris Sidoris, Home Inc.'s board president, to hear more about the project overall and why it's a good fit for Home Inc. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us for part 2 of our video series about the ADU. First, do you want to just start by telling us why this is a good fit for Home Inc.?
About 3 years ago, I was at a housing conference, and I happened to stumble across a segment from AARP on ADUs. The thing that I loved about the ADU is it had the ability to serve a family of very different segments of its life. And so, depending on where the person stepped in, Home Inc. tends to, our tagline is, we meet you on your journey. Well, this was a piece of real estate that absolutely could do that. From the very beginning, a very young family can purchase this and live in the home and potentially rent the ADU. And then as the family gets older, maybe the kids go to college and live out there, or they use it as a remote work studio or an art studio. Okay, well then as they go on, potentially they need a caregiver, or they have, someone with a disability that needs to live there. Well, then as they age on, potentially then they're ready for accessibility. So maybe this 2-story home doesn't serve them. They move to the ADU and they rent the home. And that's the way for them to support their lifestyle. And so it has that ability uniquely to serve a family throughout its lifetime in the neighborhood that they love, as opposed to at the point that the house outgrows me or I outgrow the house, I have to move outside the neighborhood. And so that's what I love about the ADU, is it uniquely has the ability to do that most pieces of real estate today don't do.
So how much does an ADU like this cost?
Well, it can really vary, and it really depends on what people want to do. So when we looked at this one, we specifically knew that we wanted to talk about accessibility. We wanted to be able to go into an existing neighborhood. And so it really depends, and that's the beauty of ADUs. You can go as small, it can be actually in the home if you want it to be, or outside, or can be some that are very beautiful. And so costs can really range depending on what that use is. They start around $100,000, and that's kind of where ours will come in. Obviously, it's single story. We attach it to a garage, but it can go up to really some pretty amazing stuff. I mean, I've seen some at $350 and plus, but that's pretty amazing. That's pretty outstanding stuff. So in Midwest, we're somewhere between maybe $100,000 to $250,000.
Well, what are we hoping to learn from this project?
What I hope that we can do, certainly within neighborhoods and communities is look at a different housing type. One of the things that is critical today as housing costs go up is that we start to price people out of neighborhoods. And, if there's a takeaway from neighborhoods, we've learned about the beauty and importance of social connections, not only within our family, but with our neighbors. And so the ADU allows us to go in and keep those families whole, allows them to kind of move through the lifespan that they do, but also starts to allow neighborhoods to expand. But this has the ability to bring in housing at a much lower cost point. It's a green option because you're not buying land. The land already exists. The infrastructure already exists. And so it's a way for policy people, as you think about how do you add housing at a lower cost. You don't have to have infrastructure. You don't have to add cost to it, but yet you're serving that population and leaning on all the retail and the parks and those kind of things that are already in place. The trails that you have, you're not adding to that, but it's a way to bring it as a low cost option. And it literally can be done in any city in the entire US.
Lastly, why, especially today, do you think that this is a critical housing opportunity?
The beauty of the ADU is that I think it tells that story. It allows us to talk about why the home fits the family. The family loves this neighborhood. The family may, we hopefully maybe do some multi-generational living here. How do we increase our lifestyle, but let the house serve that, as opposed to, 60% of the families today are 1 and 2 people households. And we're building these big homes. okay, let's build homes that meet the people where they are. And so the beauty of that ADU is it allows us to respond to that, but show people how we can respond in a very critical way. So I'm very excited about the fact that Home Inc. gets to bring that to here. I'm excited that our organization gets to tell that story, and the fact that we need to do it with some amazing partners in the city of Des Moines and in this great neighborhood of Oak Park and Highland Park.
I love it. I love your passion for it, and appreciate that you brought it to Home Inc.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Great, thanks.
Well, let's head back to the ADU site and see how things are coming along. So we're back here on site with Tony Montgomery, the Executive Director of Home Inc. Tony, can you tell us what's happened since we were last here?
Yes, Courtney, since we were here in the spring, we finished the exterior of the house. So it's all completely framed, the windows are in place, and the roof is complete. The accessory dwelling unit has really taken shape over the last few weeks. The framing is complete, the roof is ready for shingles, and in the next week we'll be installing windows.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the layout inside is coming to life since it is such a small space?
Absolutely. One of the most exciting things about getting the framing complete is you can really start to get a feel for the layout. When you walk through the unit, you can feel when you're walking into the living room, and then you move into the kitchen, and then down the hallway into the accessible bathroom, the laundry area, and the bedroom. And then you can also see where the garage is going to be adjacent to the accessory dwelling unit.
So Tony, what are you most excited about towards the end of the project since we're wrapping up here soon?
One of the things we're most excited about at Home Inc. is now that the structure is really taking place and people driving down the street can really see the property, we're getting a lot of questions from the community and interest from realtors. So we're really excited to be able to start showing this to prospective buyers. We've had a lot of interest from larger and expanded families, multi-generational families who are really excited about the opportunity to have this type of space to fit their family needs.
Thanks for tuning in to today's video. You can learn more about the project on our website at homeincdsm.org. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see the next video in the series. Next time we'll be back here to see the finished product.